On WLKY, this is breaking news.
Good morning. We continue to follow that late breaking news after a UPS plane crash here in Louisville. Our team coverage has been monitoring this situation for hours, bringing you the latest updates all throughout the night. We start this morning with Carrie Grace, who's live at the airport with the very latest on where things stand right now, Carrie, and the heartbreak in our community.
Alex, absolutely devastating, especially knowing the magnitude of this crash, this deadly UPS airplane crash. I'm in the departures area of the Muhammad Ali International Airport this morning. Completely different scene than what we were seeing about 12 hours ago. This entire area, you could just see flames, miles really of flames from that UPS plane crash. We know about 100 crews were on scene for 6 hours trying to put out those fires. At least 7 people have been confirmed dead, but there are people still missing. We know several people are in the hospital, some of them in critical condition. A shelter in place is still in place right now for about a mile around the area. Also, NTSB investigators are expected to come into town today. We are told this is an MD-11 aircraft, which is a UPS cargo plane, which was en route to Honolulu when the explosion happened. Also, 2 businesses were hit. That was Kentucky Petroleum and Grade A Auto Parts. Right now, operations at UPS Worldport are on hold.
We are also asking the public, if they were to find any debris in the area, to please avoid touching this debris and report the debris. As well, they can take photographs to the following website, which is louisvilleky.gov/emergency services. We are asking everyone to please follow the airport's X page at Fly Louisville for additional updates.
Again, NTSB expected on scene today. We also want to let you know Jefferson County Public Schools are closed for the day. And if you are flying out of SDF today, make sure you check to see if your flight is on time or if it has been canceled. Now, we are seeing some people arrive for departures this morning, so we know that there are some flights that are still going to go out today. Governor Andy Beshear was here with us yesterday. We did hear from him as well as Mayor Greenberg. We're going to send things over to our Sam Carter this morning, who has reaction from our local leader. Sam, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Carrie. By now, many of us have seen the images of that MD-11 aircraft bursting into flames. They're pictures that are going to stay with us for a long time. But shortly after that crash, leaders from both state and city gathered to share their thoughts and their plan of action. Now, it started with Mayor Greenberg, who was out of town but did have city officials gather in his stead to send a message from him to the families of those affected by this tragedy. He sent prayers to those people. Now, other officials like Jody Myman. Now, he is the executive director of the Louisville Emergency Services Department. Now, he outlined the current emergency response, breaking it down into 3 phases: life safety, incident stabilization, and property conservation. Now, he stressed his department is still very much in the life safety phase. Hours after that plane crash, Governor Beshear on the ground here in Louisville sharing this message to Kentucky.
We've always banded together. We will again. Let's make sure before anything else, we put the families of those that are lost, the families of those that we're worried about first. They deserve it. Let's make sure we pray for them and we support them with everything we have. Thank you, Kentucky.
Now, search and rescue teams were out during the night. And as for Mayor Greenberg, he has come back into town, and we do expect to hear from him in a very short time. In Louisville, Sam Carter, WLKY News.
Sam, thank you. Of course, we know that the airport was shut down yesterday, so no flights went out. But this morning, things seem to be getting back to normal. Our Blakely McHugh is inside. She has been talking to some folks who had just spent the night there. Blakely, good morning.
Yeah, Carrie, you and I have both been saying that things are getting back to normal, right? But we should be clear, things are not normal here. I just talked to 2 people who work here down in the baggage claim, and they say things are just off today. The mood is somber and it's heavy, and it's difficult being at work today because of what happened last night. And so anyways, so he said it's difficult. And I did ask them, I know that you guys train for something like this, but he said, really, nothing can prepare you. You can train as much, but when the real thing happens, it's difficult to wrap your head around. And like Carrie said, yes, I've been talking to people here who did spend the night here. I guess there were, not I guess, but we were told that there were dozens of people who stayed overnight. And most of the people I've talked to this morning say, yep, their flights are delayed. And that's kind of the case for most people flying through here. But again, we did talk to people last night as well who saw the smoke and witnessed what happened here at the airport shortly after things were shut down.
Because I think it was such a tragedy, I did not see anybody be upset that they missed a flight.
And truly that has been the sentiment with everybody that we have talked to. A lot of times when there's mass cancellations, you have quite a different mood, and you hear quite different things coming out of people's mouths during situations like that. But this one has everybody has understanding of what's going on here. And again, a lot of flights are either delayed or canceled this morning, at least for the ones that were supposed to be leaving by or before 7 o'clock. So I want to say Delta has delayed most of its flights, but American Airlines, Southwest, and well as United have a lot of their flights canceled. So make sure that you are checking the board and checking the monitoring your flight status to see what time it is now flying out. Carrie, I'm going to send it back to you now.
Blakely, good advice. We are seeing a lot of traffic out here in the departure area. More and more cars are coming and dropping people off this morning. So hopefully they are checking their flight status to make sure their flights are still departing this morning. We're going to go ahead and send things back to you, Alex. Matt.
Carrie and Blakely, thank you so much. I know Blakely keeps saying to continue checking, which is so true because many are delayed right now, but there's a good chance those could be canceled as the sun comes up and crews realize what all has to be done to clear the airfield.
Right. The rest of the airlines are going to need some time to get a hold of where they need to put planes, to move their passengers. And that backlog, could take some time, perhaps through today. So it sounds like passengers are being patient given the circumstances, and I'm sure they're going to ask for a little bit more of that patience in the coming hours. We're going to talk weather, which is quiet this morning. It's not as cold as the past couple of mornings, with temperatures really on either side of about 50 degrees as you head out from 54 at Ali to a chillier 49 in Elizabethtown. In your hourly planner through the morning, just a few passing clouds, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies today. We will turn 50s into 60 degrees by 10 o'clock, 63 by 11. And with a southwest wind that'll blow between 15 and 20 miles per hour with some steadier gusts, we're going to jump to 72, I think, this afternoon. Now, a front comes through tonight that knocks us back down to the 60s, but lots of sunshine tomorrow at 63. And those numbers are right about where we should be for early November. On Friday, we go 67, but we start watching for opportunities for some scattered showers that are going to be a pretty good bet, and even a few storm possibilities, mainly south of town. That's the reason for impact weather, and it's the beginning of a two-part system that's going to usher in our chilliest air so far this fall season. That's in your 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, Alex, let's send it back to you.
Matt, thank you. We are checking back in this morning with Carrie Grace, who is talking with Councilwoman Betsy Ruy to get more details on the plane crash that happened in her district. And we know, Carrie, it's impacting many people who live and work in that area.
It absolutely is, Alex. Yeah, very few details. And even Councilwoman Betsy Ruy, who is with me now, she's with District 21. Councilwoman Betsy Ruy, thank you so much for being with us this morning. You can step a little closer to me. We are talking about this happening in your district. What was going through your mind when you found out what was going on?
Well, I saw the plume as I was driving back home from downtown, and I knew by the size of the plume that this was a big problem, a big accident of some sort. And as I got closer, I was able to find an officer who confirmed that, yes, it was an airplane. And, yeah, you could just see the plume stretching across the sky. And it's a tragedy for our community. We depend so much on this airport, and sometimes accidents happen. And we all know somebody who works at UPS.
Yeah. Well, you also told me you tried to get close to the scene, but you really couldn't.
Yeah, they had already closed the road by the time I got down there, and they were evacuating all the vehicles from the parking lot around there. So at that point, it was closed.
Now, at last check, there was a shelter in place that was still in place for folks who live within about a mile of the accident scene. Do you have any updates on that?
To my understanding, it's still shelter in place within a mile. I can say that does include my neighbors. And as I was coming over, I was not smelling any smoke, so I'm grateful for that. One of my neighbors lives in a drafty apartment, and she was getting eye irritation last night from the smell.
Yeah, we did hear that there was a strong smell of fuel in the air. There was heavy smoke in the air. Do you have a warning or anything you want to say to the folks who are living in the area near the accident?
If you smell the smoke, please stay inside because it will build up. If you've got any air intakes, please close those off. No open windows. Just go with the air in the house and it will clear.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Rui, for joining us this morning. Alex, we're going to go ahead and send things back over to you.
Yeah, we keep continuing to learn and share more effects of this. And on that note, we want to remind you that classes at JCPS have been canceled today, as well as all after-school activities. Now, the district tells us today will be operating like a snow day with no online instruction. Officials say they will also be checking air and water quality at schools near the site of that crash. And coming up on 6:11, we are checking in with Suzanne for a look at your morning commute.
And we do have some roads and ramps that are closed because of that plane crash. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on as far as your traffic is concerned. First things first, 65 and the Waterston are still fully open at this time. No issues here. However, we do have some ramps and roads that are shut down near the airport, so we'll watch for that. On 65, the on and off ramps are closed to and from Fern Valley Road. Also, outer loop is shut down from Grade Lane to 65. A quick reminder here, if you're coming out of Bullitt County, we do expect to see some delays here. This will continue until Thursday at 3 o'clock. We have those right 2 lanes blocked right near Kentucky 44. Let's send it back over to Alex.
And I'll take it from here, Suzanne. We're going to check out weather headlines because while we are milder this morning with temperatures near 50, it's going to be a breezy, warmer Wednesday, highs in the 70s. But a couple of days we need to watch out for starting on Friday. Showers, a few storms expected with a front that's going to get us cold enough that we could see our season's first few flakes fly by Sunday night. I'll have more on those bigger changes ahead in your 7-day. That's coming up.
your WLKY weather with meteorologist Matt Milosevic.
All right, let's talk the day planner here as you head out. We're not as cold this morning. Remember, the last couple of mornings, we've even had some frost in spots with temperatures in the 30s. This morning, we're going to be on either side of 50 degrees. Upper 40s and low 50s are going to be the rule as you head out and get your day started. 66 by midday en route to highs near 72. It is going to be breezy. It is going to be warmer. We were 65 yesterday, but southwest winds 15 to 20. You will notice that, especially with some higher breezes. We'll have a few passing clouds today, full sunshine tomorrow, but a front comes through tonight, and it's going to get our temperatures back closer to where we should be for the time of year with highs near 63. A chillier morning, 44 in town. I think we'll see 30s away from the city, though, tomorrow morning. As we move into Friday, impact weather comes our way with showers and a few thunderstorms, especially in our southern communities. Highs near 67. And then as we move into Saturday, that's the pick of our weekend. It's going to be briefly drier before Saturday night into Sunday. We bring in rounds of light rain and drizzle as some colder air builds on in. By Sunday morning, we're at 49 degrees. We may even fall a little bit into the afternoon, and then really chilly Sunday night into Monday morning. Chilly enough that a few flurries to kick off our Monday will be a possibility, and highs only rebounding to near 40 degrees in the afternoon. 50 on Tuesday after lows near freezing. It will be the start of a warm-up that I think will get us back at least into the 60s by the end of next week. All right, that's the latest on your forecast. Let's check back in with Suzanne. She has the latest if you're headed out on the road.
And first things first, 65 and the Waterson are still open, but we do have some ramp closures to let you know about. This is 65 right near Fern Valley Road, and you can see traffic is moving very smoothly in this area at this time. However, we have that ramp closure, so the on and off ramps to and from Fern Valley Road are shut down. Also, outer loop is shut down from Grade Lane to 65. A reminder, we are already starting to see some slow traffic in this area. Expect some delays as you're coming in from Bullitt County here this morning. We're going to have those right two lanes that are going to be closed on 65 northbound. That will continue until 3 o'clock, and that's right near Kentucky 44. Let's send it back over to Alex.
Suzanne, thank you. Today, TARC is working to get back up and running after that shelter in place last night. All service stopped for a long while, but TARC 3 made sure anyone still on board during the disaster got to their destinations. Officials say buses will be rolling out again today, though you might see a few delays or even detours. We are checking back in with Carrie Grace this morning as we continue to follow that deadly UPS plane crash. Carrie, still very little information on exactly what happened, but you're with someone who can give us some perspective of what it's like to be on that runway inside one of those UPS planes.
Alex, that is absolutely right. Captain Seawright is with me again. That's our Norman Seawright's father, a retired UPS pilot. Now, we know, Captain Seawright, you never flew the MD-11. That was not your plane. But what can you tell us about this particular plane?
It's the third largest aircraft in our fleet. Again, I'm saying our fleet, again, UPS fleet. And it's a global aircraft, flies completely around the world. And I can tell you that it's an old aircraft, but it's a very, very reliable aircraft. And it's huge. That's pretty much all I can tell you. And it's powerful. I can give you that much.
Yeah. We talked about that massive fire and about 250,000 pounds of fuel being on board. I mean, that plane was trying to get to Honolulu, so we know that it had about a 9-hour flight. But also we know there were 3 people on board the plane. Tell us why there were 3 crew members on that plane.
Okay, usually if you're going to fly, or if your duty is over 8 hours, you need a third pilot, and that third pilot is a relief pilot. And so usually it's a pilot that, normally it's a pilot that is typed on the aircraft or that is a captain on the aircraft. So that is the one reason why if you're going to fly over 8 hours, you got to have that. If it's scheduled over 8 hours, you have to have that third pilot on there, which is for relief. That's the reason for that, Carrie.
You also talked to me about the training, the extensive training that you all go through, and even in the simulators, scenarios like this.
Exactly. Scenarios like this, and even worse, we practice over and over again. We take our pilots through. Okay, I'm going to say we as much as I can, but I don't mean to, but I'm still part of UPS in my heart, over and over again. And that type of training gets you familiar. So you understand, a pilot really understands when they've lost an engine in failure, or an engine has fallen off, what the instinct is. And the instinct is track the nose properly, get the aircraft off the ground, fly it, get it to a safe altitude, take care of the emergency, and then let's get it back on the ground.
Well, Captain Seawright, thank you so much for your perspective on that. And again, we understand why you would say we, because these pilots really are like a brotherhood. He was telling me earlier that he did know 2 of the pilots on board that aircraft. At this time, those pilots have not been identified, but our hearts do go out to their families. Speaking of families, there was a reunification area set up as well for those who were looking for loved ones who maybe worked at the Ford plant or UPS Worldport and couldn't get a hold of their loved ones last night. Our Shaquille Lord is live there this morning with the latest, Shaq.
Yeah, Carrie, this is the area, as you just mentioned, for the past 10 hours that loved ones can reunite with their family members or maybe their friends that they have not heard of. Things have been pretty quiet this morning, but a lot of people have been asking why this specific location. Well, according to officials, they say hospitals are not equipped to handle this unification process due to this type of emergency. Now here they have a coordinated process that is underway designed to help loved ones locate and reconnect with people impacted. As people come here to find their loved ones, many people we caught up with leaving the airport, they were stuck there for hours, of course, visibly emotional about all that was taking place. Take a listen.
I got a phone call from my dad asking me was I okay, and I literally had just walked in the house from work. And he just, all of my family members was just calling me, asking me if I was okay. They told me about it, and I just start calling my employees and stuff, and just make sure they was okay and stuff. And then that's when I came over to, see what was going on.
Yeah, we know this is a devastating tragedy that has really hit our community hard. There's a number of services being provided here at this reunification center. That includes the American Red Cross, LMPD Victim Services, and chaplains as well to help with emotional support. Reporting live this morning, I'm Shaquille Lord. Alex will send it back to you in the studio.
Shaq, thank you. We do hope that families reach out and take advantage of those resources. We also want to remind you we have all this coverage and more online. You can get the latest information, listen to air traffic control recordings, and look at the flight path for that plane. You can find it all on WLKY.com and on our mobile app. 6:22 right now. We're checking in with Matt.
Alex, first thing everyone's going to need to know this morning weather-wise is that we have trended much milder by 15 degrees in town. So instead of 30s for lows, we are in the upper 40s in the chillier spots to 50s in the milder spots, including 54 in town. We're going to be warm and breezy today, but I'm talking a couple of rounds of impact weather that'll bring in our season's chilliest air with even an opportunity for a few snowflakes. We're looking over Muhammad Ali International Airport right now. As those crash recovery efforts continue in our city, we've got you covered on all of the latest with that, weather, and traffic. It's all coming up after the break. Well, good morning, everyone. Temperature starting out right around 50 degrees in many locations, so it's not as cold as the past couple of mornings. It's going to be a breezy, warmer day ahead with highs near 72. A front comes through tonight. It'll be chillier tomorrow morning and highs back closer to where they should be at 63 degrees with lots of sunshine in our Thursday. And then we eye impact weather on Friday. 67 degrees isn't very warm, but it may be just enough to kick up some thunderstorm chances in our skies. I want to show you Futurecast. I've jumped ahead here Friday 1 a.m. So the early morning hours of our Friday, the rain is up to the north and west. The frontal system is going to start working its way on in. And as we head into the afternoon, especially Friday, we're going to have a good scattering of showers across the area. As we get a little later in the day, some of those showers could turn into some thunderstorms where we see some of those areas of yellow, mainly south of the Bluegrass Parkway. That'll be the best opportunity for some showers with some storms that could put down a brief high wind gust. So we'll watch for a couple of stronger cells on Friday. Saturday's the pick of our weekend because we're dry in between systems. And then late Saturday night into Sunday, we bring in another round of some areas of light rain and drizzle as a push of some solidly chillier air. Even a little hint of winter coming our way to round out the weekend into early next week. So put it all together and we watch for those weather impacts Friday. Again, dry Saturday and then more rain Sunday as the colder air moves in, 49 degrees Sunday. Sunday night late into early Monday morning, it could be cold enough for our season's first few flurries. And then look at Monday afternoon, a high of just 40 degrees. We start to rebound by Tuesday with sunny skies and highs back to 50. All right, that's the latest on the forecast, Alex. Let's send it back to you.
Matt, thank you. Right now, the FAA is still investigating a bomb threat that stopped all flights in and out of Reagan National Airport Tuesday afternoon. Passengers on a United Airlines flight were evacuated, but the FBI later confirmed it was just a hoax. Police say the call came from a robotic male voice demanding $500,000 in cryptocurrency, quote, or else. This is the second time in a week that flights in Washington have been paused over security concerns. Another urgent warning for travelers this morning. The transportation secretary says if airspace conditions don't improve, they could be forced to shut it down. That hinges on whether enough air traffic controllers show up for work. Controllers got a partial paycheck early in the shutdown and missed one entirely last week. On Thursday, Secretary Duffy said the next pay stub will show $0 regardless of the hours worked. And we've been keeping you updated and talking this morning about that UPS plane crash at Louisville's Muhammad Ali International Airport. We do want to break down a little bit more about Worldport and what they do. That's where Mo Rose comes in. Mo, this is a massive operation.
Oh, gosh, it is, Alex. So the facility at Muhammad Ali International Airport, that sprawls across an area the size of 90 football fields. It's huge, and it employs about 20,000 people, making UPS the largest employer in the Louisville area. More than 300 flights take off and land from the facility each day, with over 2 million packages processed daily. And Louisville's location puts it within 4 hours of flight time to 95% of the U.S. Population, making it a very popular hub for cargo. In fact, the Louisville airport ranks third among U.S. airports for cargo after Memphis, Tennessee, and Anchorage, Alaska.
You know it's a massive operation, but really looking at those numbers puts it into perspective. And we know that this was a deadly plane crash. Many are also hurt, but this is impacting operations at UPS Worldport, at businesses nearby. Many people are connected in that area, so our hearts really go out to them.
Yeah, 20,000 people in Louisville. Somebody watching right now knows someone, if not you, working at UPS. I mean, it really does span the entire community.
All right, Matt.
All right, I want to give you a quick look at the 7-day forecast because while we're 72 today, we dip a little bit on Thursday with some storm chances Friday and maybe a few flurries Sunday night into Monday with some chillier air heading our way. I'll have much more explanation on these big changes ahead. That's coming up in your forecast.
WLKY, this is breaking news.
Frequency standby. Airport is currently closed. 171. Aircraft? There was an accident on departure.
You just heard the air traffic radio recordings from the exact moment that UPS plane went down. Now at least 7 people are dead and 11 people are hurt. Officials do expect that number to rise today. We have team coverage on the ground this morning that's been monitoring the situation since the crash happened. We start our live team coverage this morning with Carrie Grace, who is live this morning with information from the mayor.
Alex, good morning. We are planning to talk to Mayor Greenberg this morning. I wanted to know if we already had him up for us this morning, Mayor Greenberg. Mayor Greenberg, good morning.
Good morning, Carrie.
So at last check last night around 11 o'clock, we were able to talk to you. You said you were heading over to the Family Reunification Center. Tell us what you saw once you got there.
It was, very difficult for for everyone that was there. There were families that had come to get information on people that they've not been able to get in contact with. And, we had people from LMPD, from other first responding agencies. The Red Cross provided some information. The coroner was there, and we were trying to get information as quick as possible. Of course, because of nightfall, because of the nature of this horrible, tragic crash with the giant fires, we did not have as much information at the time that we would like, but that information was being gotten to families as quickly as possible, and the search continues this morning. We do have reason to believe that the number of victims will rise, but our search will continue as soon as daylight comes. Over 200 first responders last night were on the scene, and we'll continue to put every resource we have available to this as well.
Mayor Greenberg, that was my next question to you, as we know that 7 people have been confirmed dead, but we know that there are some people still missing. Have you gotten any word on maybe which industries, which businesses, or where those people are still unaccounted for?
Last night we were in touch. These were people who, for one reason or another, they believe were at the locations of the plane crash. They either worked there or they were there for some other reason. I didn't get into those details with the families who I was consoling last night, but they were unable to get in touch with these individuals, and so that's why they were there seeking answers. The governor and I just got briefed by emergency responders a few minutes ago this morning, and we do have to believe that the number of victims will rise. Most importantly this morning, Carrie, for viewers across Louisville, we have just shrunk the shelter in place radius down to a quarter mile. So we've been monitoring the air overnight. And as a result of air monitoring results, that restricted area is now a quarter mile of the crash location. And we will continue to monitor air quality and everything else throughout the day and for the coming days.
Absolutely. Mayor Greenberg, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And what a tremendous effort by our local first responders who were able to get that massive fire put out so quickly. Mayor, thank you. And now we want to go ahead and check in with our Sam Carter. Sam, we know Governor Beshear was in town yesterday, and we will likely hear from him again today. But what did he have to say yesterday, Sam?
Yeah, Carrie, Governor Beshear sent a message to all Kentuckians that it is time to come together and support all of the families affected by this horrific disaster. He was just one of several public figures on hand in the aftermath of this devastating disaster. Now, you just heard from Mayor Greenberg. He was out of town at the time of the crash, but in his stead was Deputy Mayor Julie Carr, who shared his thoughts and prayers with the family. Now, also on hand was the executive director of Louisville's Emergency Services, Jody Myman. Now, he had this to say about the progress of the emergency response. Take a listen here.
But there's 3 phases of this response. It's life safety, it's incident stabilization, and it's property conservation. And we're still in the life safety step in that process. And what I mean by that is we're still going door to door in the area to make sure that every business, every facility And there's a couple private residences. Everybody's accounted for, and everybody has evacuated that immediate area.
Yeah, search and rescue teams were working through the night. Now, the big update here is what Carrie just got the mayor to reveal. They do have reason to believe that the number of dead and injured will rise today, and they are shrinking that radius down to a quarter mile, that shelter-in-place radius. So good news there, but still horrible news that they are expecting that number of dead to rise. At Louisville International Airport, Sam Carter, WLKY News.
Sam, thank you. Yeah, that's true.
A tragic situation.
Yeah.
And when you saw the expansiveness of that fire, and we have so many businesses there, so many people who work at UPS and near the airport, it is just such a tragedy. And I think as the sun comes up this morning, we will likely see the extent of that damage.
That fire was burning into the dusk of night. I do want to add, you just mentioned lots of people working in that area. We just got information. UPS's second day air sort today at Worldport has been canceled. So that's hub and ramp employees on the second day air sort do not go to work today. It's going to be canceled.
All right, we're continuing to keep everyone updated as new information comes in, including that shelter in place that's been reduced to a quarter mile. We heard that from the mayor just a little bit ago. It was at one time over 5 miles and even into portions of Clark County last evening. Now let's talk weather because we're quieter. We are going to be breezier as we make our way through the morning and into the afternoon. At times, winds gusting upwards of 20 miles per hour. But it's a warming wind right now. Upper 40s and low 50s are the rule across the area. We're 54 in the metro. Far cry from the 30s of the past couple of mornings. 50s turn into 60 by 10 o'clock in your hourly planner through the morning. We're 63 at 11, so we are going to get quickly milder through the course of the day. But again, we will have those brisk breezes, but highs up to 72 ahead of a front that rolls through tonight. That'll dial our temperatures back. 63 tomorrow after a chillier start to our Thursday morning. And then we watch for some impact weather on Friday with some scattered showers and even a few storms possible, especially south of town. I'll have more on that impact weather and your 7-day coming up in the next check of your forecast. But right now, let's send it over to Suzanne. She has the latest on the roads.
And we, of course, have some closures because of that plane crash yesterday. I want to point out, though, the Watterson and 65, those are still open and moving just fine so far this morning. Let me show you what it looks like at 65 right near Fern Valley Road. Obviously a busy spot, but we are open. The closures that I want to tell you about, so we have the on and off ramps from 65 to and from Fern Valley Road that are shut down. Also, outer loop from Grade Lane to 65 is also completely shut down at this time. And a reminder, we've been talking about this over the past couple of days. If you're coming in from Bullitt County, you are seeing pretty significant delays here. We're going to see this through 3 o'clock on Thursday. The right 2 lanes of 65 north right near Kentucky 44 are closed at this time, and we are seeing very slow traffic in this area, so be prepared for speeds of only about 20 miles per hour. Back over to Alex.
Suzanne, thank you. And right now, more on that deadly UPS plane crash at SDF in Louisville. The death toll right now stands at 7, but that number is expected to rise. That's according to officials. Carrie, very limited information on what exactly happened on that runway yesterday when this plane went down, but you are with someone who can provide some insight.
That's right, Alex. We can tell you that UPS cargo plane, an MD-11, was on its way to Honolulu with about 250,000 pounds of fuel on board. And we know there were 3 crew members on that plane. I'm with Captain Seawright, a retired UPS pilot. And I just want to say I'm so sorry to you because I know you knew some of the pilots on that plane. And we also just talked about the training, the extensive training that you all go through. And you've been a part of that training. You've also trained many of these pilots.
That's correct. And I can tell you, as we were talking earlier, the simulators that we use are D-level sims. And that means once you're qualified in the sim, you're qualified to fly the aircraft, and you may have never been in the aircraft. So it's that realistic, which leads us to understand that any scenario that you can think of in the real world, it can be replicated in the sim.
Captain Seawright, this is such an uncommon sight, which really does speak to the safety and just how well prepared and trained these pilots are. So, what goes through your mind when an incident like this occurs?
Oh my God, Carrie, I can't even begin to tell you because I know something happened. And we know that the scenario that took place out here yesterday evening, it's so unusual, and it was so, I'm going to say remarkable, that it's hard to wrap your mind around what happened. I even talked with some of the MD-11 pilots, instructors, evaluators, and they were just dumbfounded as much as I am. And so it's hard. It's really hard. And the sad part is that, you know, this was someone's father, these are someone's son, these and they got, and not only the pilots, you think about the community out here that is suffering. And I just want to give, if I may, a shout out to the first responders that got out there and put this fire out so quickly. That was absolutely phenomenal. I live in Indiana, and when I got the call, I got the lens alert, and I saw all this smoke, and I told my wife, I said, something's wrong out there. So it's phenomenal, bottom line. Yes, ma'am.
It is. Again, this is so uncommon, Captain Seawright. Thank you. This is so uncommon that we see anything like this. UPS Worldport, such an important part of our community here in Louisville. Again, we know that 7 people have been confirmed dead in this tragedy, and we are still waiting to learn their identities this morning. Alex, back to you.
Carrie, thank you. We're going to keep following this story. If you want more information and to check out all of our coverage, you can do that online. You have the latest information there. You can listen to air traffic control recordings. Also look at the flight path for that plane. You can find it all on WLKY.com and on our free mobile app. We'll be right back.
Right now on WLKY, this is breaking news.
We are still following that late breaking news for you this morning. That deadly UPS crash has impacted flights at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. All last night flights were canceled. The airfield was shut down. And this morning, our Blakely McHugh is live inside the airport. Blakely, you've talked with some people who have spent the night there.
Yeah, people were staying overnight. Some people had to get hotels last night. We said all of those flights were shut down last night, even for people who were on the tarmac about to take off, then had to deplane and wait until this morning. One of those people is Aisha with us this morning. You were on the tarmac, ready to go when you guys were told that you had to deplane. Walk us through what you heard and what happened.
Yeah, we were seated. They were still putting bags in overhead compartments, and I looked out the window and there was dark smoke. But it was a couple minutes before they came over the intercom and they said that there'd been an incident and they recommended that folks deplane and head to the ticket counter to start figuring out getting rebooked.
At that point, did you guys have any idea of what was going on?
No, it took a couple minutes. I texted a friend, and then, got sort of the news headlines back.
Sure. What was sort of the feeling amongst people when they were having to deplane and get their tickets settled for the next day? What was that sort of general consensus there?
Yeah, I mean, I think people were definitely like a little stressed. No one likes to have their plans disrupted, but obviously it's a horrible circumstance, and I think a lot of people also just sort of like, my friend and I sat down just to wait, because it's better that way.
Yeah.
But
I think what we've heard a lot of people say is very understanding with what the circumstances are. Your flight gets canceled, but because of what happened, your understanding of what's happening with your flights and the delays and all of that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, everyone who works at the airport, like they have a limited ability to do anything, and like what's getting worked up gonna change. So.
All right. Your flight was supposed to be at 7. You're delayed this morning, as are most people, so you're just waiting it out at this point, right?
Yep.
All right, Aisha, thank you so much. Appreciate your time this morning. So like we said, most of the Delta flights have been delayed. We've seen most United American and Southwest flights be canceled this morning. Again, if you have a flight out, make sure you are checking the status of it. If you are picking anybody up who's arriving here, also make sure you're checking the status of that, because those have also been delayed and or canceled. But TSA is back open. People are getting through, and we'll of course be continuing to monitor the situation here at the airport as we go throughout the morning. Carrie, back to you.
All right, Blakely, I'm going to take it from here right now. We're taking a live look from our WLKY News chopper at some of the devastation. The sun is just coming up, so it's pretty hard to see, but this is just over 12 hours after that UPS plane crashed on the runway and burst into flames. 7 people are dead, 11 are hurt. We know that there were 3 pilots on that plane heading to Honolulu. It was fully gassed up for a long flight when it crashed, sending debris flying. We do hope to get a better look at what this is going to look like today as investigators are on the ground. And we know that this is probably going to take a very long time to wrap up. Matt, you said, weeks, months, maybe even a year.
Yeah, when we talk about full NTSB reports, we've seen that in previous crashes, that it can sometimes take, upwards of a year, because if we are talking about having to maybe test and try to recreate faults and stuff, I mean, this is quite literally something that would take place in a large lab, that they're trying to make sure that this isn't something, whatever caused this crash may not happen again on other MD-11s, because it's a heavily used cargo aircraft by all of the large delivery companies across the country and the world. So there's going to be literally dozens and hundreds of them in the air as we head through the day. So they want to make sure of that. And so that can also take some time before we realize what actually might have happened.
And Mo, you've talked about the massive operation that is UPS Worldport, and then also there's still some road closures surrounding this. We'll get to that in just a minute, but we are going to start you off this morning with a check of your forecast, Matt, which we're going to need some good weather to start this investigation.
We are. It's going to be a little breezy today, but definitely a quiet day weather-wise. We are filled with sunshine, a few passing clouds. We're going to kick in a southwest breeze, 15 to 20, some higher gusts at times today, but look at those temperatures jumping into the low 70s this afternoon, falling into the 60s into the evening. We do have to talk about impact weather. That comes back our way on Friday, mainly into the afternoon hours, even a few storm chances in our southern communities, perhaps a brief high wind gust with a few of those. So we'll pay close attention to it before we trend a little bit drier on Saturday. But then quickly on its heels, Saturday night into Sunday is another round of showers and some patchy drizzle with a solid push of chilly air. It's going to give us a little preview of some winter-like conditions. I'm jumping all the way to Sunday evening. We still have a little bit of light rain and drizzle, but notice some of those pink shades, and then we get into some white and some blue. These are indications that as we head late Sunday night into Monday morning, that we could see the season's first few snow flurries across the area. I think ground temperatures are overall going to be warm, so I don't see many impacts with this, but nonetheless, a few flakes could fly in some much colder air by early next week. But today we're 72, 63. We're down a little bit tomorrow, but then 67 ahead of those storm chances and the weather impacts on Friday. There's the dry day Saturday, but then Sunday brings in that light rain and drizzle, and look at that high high. Just 49 degrees, a brisk breeze too, and highs only near 40 on Monday in the wake of a few of those morning flurries. Will start to rebound. A cold morning Tuesday at 32, but afternoon highs make their way back close to 50. All right, that's the latest on the forecast. Let's send it over to Suzanne. She has the latest from traffic.
And first things first, 65 in the Waterston. Those are still both open this morning, but we are going to be watching for some closures. This is what it looks like at 65 north and southbound right near Fern Valley Road. Let's talk about some of those closures that we're seeing. So 65, the on and off ramps are closed to and from Fern Valley Road. Also, outer loop from Grade Lane to 65 is also shut down. A reminder here, we are seeing very significant delays here. This is coming out of Bullitt County. We've been talking about this over the past couple of days. We have concrete work that's being done on 65 northbound right near Kentucky 44. So we have 2 lanes that are currently shut down. That will continue until Thursday at 3 o'clock, but your speeds have dropped down to about 20 miles per hour in this area. Very slow coming in from Bullitt County. Let's send it back over to Alex.
Suzanne, thank you. And before we head to break, Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, $843 million. And tonight's Powerball drawing, $438 million. We'll be right back.
Right now on WLKY, this is breaking news.
We are still following the devastation of that deadly UPS plane crash that happened yesterday at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. This is a live look over where this happened yesterday. We can tell you an update from Mayor Craig Greenberg just a few minutes ago. The airport has reopened one runway, so we could be seeing activity there very soon. Now, we do know the scene stretches for blocks. Now, from this vantage point, you can really see the scale of the destruction. It spreads very wide. We know people are finding debris in many different places. And on the ground at the airport, we have our Carrie Grace. Carrie, everyone is eager to learn more about exactly what happened, and we could have some answers today.
Yeah, Alex, absolutely right. NTSB expected to be on the ground in Louisville today at the scene. About 25 investigators we're told will be here to continue to evaluate what went wrong. We've told you about the debris field, which spans about a city block, could be even bigger. Several buildings caught on fire. And of course, there is still a search underway. We know 7 have been confirmed dead, but as the mayor said earlier, there could be several more fatalities that come of this. Now, this is an an incident that had so many people glued to their TVs and their phones yesterday afternoon, especially because of the Ford assembly plant, UPS Worldport. So many people work there, so people were looking for their loved ones. People were scared. They were nervous, on the edges of their seats, just hoping that everyone would be okay. Again, we know 7 fatalities. There were 3 people aboard that UPS cargo plane, that MD-11. Our hearts, our thoughts, and our prayers continue to go out to anyone affected by this tragedy. Of course, we'll continue to follow this for you. Suzanne, we'll send it to you.
All right, thank you, Carrie. We're continuing to watch for some closures because of that plane crash. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on here. So we have some ramps that are shut down. The 65 on and off ramps are closed to and from Fern Valley Road. Also, outer loop is closed from Grade Lane to 65. A reminder here, very significant delays showing up here northbound on 65 coming out of Bullitt County. We're going to see those right 2 lanes that are shut down for concrete work. So watch for very significant delays until Thursday at 3 o'clock northbound on 65. Speeds dropping down to about 20 miles per hour as you're traveling north through Shepherdsville here this morning. Let's check in with Matt.
All right, thanks, Suzanne. Good morning, everyone. We're going to talk weather headlines because we're going to be breezy. We're going to be warmer this Wednesday, from upper 40s and low 50s this morning, which is already much milder than the past couple of mornings. We've started out in the 30s. To these highs that, again, are going to jump into the 70s today. We watch for showers, a few storms expected Friday. That's our next round of impact weather. And by Sunday night into early Monday morning, maybe even our season's first few flurries. So some big changes headed our way. But right now, we're 54 degrees in town, en route to highs near 72. Southwest breezes 15 to 20, some higher gusts. So you will notice that as we move through the day. Front comes through this evening. It will knock our numbers down closer to normal at 63 for tomorrow. We watch those shower and storm chances Friday. Any storms that get going could produce a few high wind gusts. Best chances there would be in our southern communities. Saturday's a dry day. We bring in light rain and drizzle chances on Sunday as some colder air moves in. We're 49 on Sunday, but just 40 Monday. And with lows near 30, again, that could be chilly enough Sunday night and Monday morning for a few flurries. I don't see big problems there with it. Ground temperatures are still quite warm, so accumulations would be tough to come by. Tuesday, we're at 50 degrees. Looking beyond the 7-day forecast, I think we're pushing into the 60s by the middle and later portions of next week. So this is just a brief bout of some colder air. So with that said, I'll take the 72 today, but I know we are focused on the recovery efforts and trying to get things back to some level of normal after this accident.
Yeah, we're going to take another live look from our WLKY News chopper this morning over the scene of where that deadly UPS plane crashed yesterday, killing 7 people and hurting at least 11 others. Join us for the news at 9, where we continue with our team coverage.